Hi everyone, it's Mindy with Mindy Egan Design, and today I'm going to be showing how I did this card using Kraftin Kimmie Stamps and some new inks that I just received by Catherine Pooler. So let's get started. So I'm starting off with a Lime Ricky. Now this is one of the new inks that I got from Catherine Pooler, and check out that foam pad. It's a foam pad. It's not like the felt pad that you normally see on ink pads. So I wanted to give this a try, and I'm using some Bristol Smooth cardstock to ink up one part of the card. I wasn't sure how these were going to blend. I heard they blended really well, so I wanted to try them out for myself. So I did start off on the side of my mat and come in real gently. I didn't want to apply too much ink because, like I said, I really wasn't sure how these applied. So I was being real careful. And then on the other side, I'm going to use Aquatini. I think these are really fun names. So I'm starting off with that. My intention, keyword intention, was that the green was going to be my grass and this top portion was going to be my sky. So I was trying to create a scene by just doing ink blending. Now notice I said intention. Keep that in mind. So I finished off the Aquatini and I'm coming in with Tiara. Now this is a yellow and I'm just going to apply that to the middle of the card. I wanted to leave some white space in there. I didn't want the entire thing covered up with ink. So I'm just going in and blending in the middle there with that tiara. So what I'm going to do now, just to kind of put a little bit to my background here, is I'm taking some Perfect Pearls and I'm scooping a little bit off on the side of my craft mat. I'm going to spritz some water there, mix them up, and then I'm going to take an acrylic block and kind of, with my paintbrush, scrape that onto the acrylic block and then flick that onto the background. I just wanted to throw in some speckles of something, and I really like how these Perfect Pearls kind of just shine on the card. It added a nice touch to it. So on these Catherine Pooler inks, I'll say they do blend really nice and these colors are really pretty. So now I'm going to work on coloring my image. This is a unicorn that I stamped out from the Unicorns and Rainbow stamp sets from Kraftin Kimmie Stamps. There's a lot of cute images on here and sentiments, so be sure to check that out. I stamped this on Nina Solar White cardstock with black tuxedo memento ink, so it's a Copic friendly ink. And I'm coming in with my light colors. I'm going to have all the colors listed at the top of the screen just because not all of my markers have the number on the end. So I'm writing them there at the top for you so you can see which ones I'm using. I'll also have them listed down below in the video description and on my blog as well for future reference. So I start coloring this just like I do any other image. I start out with the darkest color that I have and blend out with the lightest color, and I am leaving that a little bit white in the middle. So I did do that on purpose. So I did the body in a light color and the mane and tail in the dark pink. And this honestly was pretty challenging for me because I don't typically color in light colors. So the body of this unicorn was kind of a challenge. I'm trying to work on that and better myself at it. So I did the body in the light color. And I did end up going back over everything twice just because that is how I color. That's what I'm comfortable with. And Nina cardstock does soak up quite a bit of color. So sometimes you do have to do it twice just to get a good blend. But it also is my personal preference and the look that I'm trying to achieve. So once I get this image completely colored in and blended in the way that I like, I'm going to go ahead and cut this out with my scan and cut machine. This is something that's going to cut the outline for me so I don't have to fussy cut my images, because if you've watched my videos, I don't like to fussy cut. So I do cheat and use my scan and cut machine. So now to work on my sentiment, I want to do some heat embossing. So I'm using some black cardstock that I'm prepping with my anti-static powder tool. And then I'm going to line up the sentiment that also came from the Unicorns and Rainbow stamp set. And I'm just closing the lid of my MISTI to catch that stamp on the lid. I'll go ahead and ink it up with some clear embossing ink, which is a sticky ink, so it holds the embossing powder. And then I'll sprinkle my embossing powder on there, tap off my sheet a couple times, and if there's still some speckles stuck to the cardstock, I'll take a paintbrush and kind of wipe away those speckles. Sometimes it looks good, sometimes I just want them gone, depending how many there are. And then I'll heat that up with my embossing tool, and now I have this crisp sentiment on my black cardstock. And then I'm going to take this banner die, and I'm going to hold that down with some Post-it note tape and run that through my Big Shot machine. And then I can just pop that out and it's ready to be added to my card. So I had taken my ink blended background and I die cut it out with these wonky rectangles. Now, the intention of this card was to ink blend to have a grassy bottom. That was the whole purpose of this card. As I was working through what I wanted to do, for some reason, I thought this unicorn needed some clouds. So I die cut out some clouds and adding them to my card, as you can see. And then once I actually took the pictures of my project, I'm looking at it and thinking to myself, this doesn't look anything like grass. It just looks like a really pretty background. So, I mean, it still worked out. It still looks really good. But the challenge over at Kraftin Kimmie Stamps for this weekend was grass. And I had full intentions of having ink blended grass because that would still look really good. And I'd have like a little sun there with that yellow in the middle and the blue sky. And like I said, the card took on a mind of its own and I got lost in the process. It still worked out really good. So it just kind of shows you that you just go with the flow. So I hope you enjoyed today's card. Please give this video a big thumbs up if you enjoyed it. And also subscribe to the channel if you have not already. I'll have all the supplies linked down below in the video description and on my blog as well. Thank you so much for stopping by and have a wonderful day.